In 2016, it's been an exciting year to be a Pokemon fan. With the Pokemon Go trend sweeping the globe, the Pokemon Generations anime on YouTube, monthly distributions, and more merchandise than you can poke a stick at. But it was obvious right from their announcement that Pokemon Sun and Moon would be the definitive experience for a Pokemon fan in 2016. When I first saw the trailer for this game, however, I was skeptical. This game gave me a strong Ruby and Sapphire vibe, and Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire are my least favorite of all the entries. But having played this game in its entirety, I can tell you that this is not at all the case. These games are gorgeous, and they may very well beat out Gold and Silver as my favorite Pokemon games of all time. For starters, let me just tell you, this game's graphical style is more than just a retread of the 6th generation. With a more vibrant and colourful world than ever, beautiful cutscenes and camera angles that show off every corner of said world, and improved tall character models, this game has now defined what the 3DS can do, and set the standard. It is worth noting, however, that I did play this game on a new 3DS, and I hear it does get pushed to its graphical limits on the original model, but I can't say for sure. It is also a wise decision that this time around they have mostly ditched the gimmicky 3D in favour of more intricate details. And while we're on the topic of details, the world map this time around is incredibly well designed. I feel like some people will complain that it is too linear, but I don't think that's a bad thing, as exploration and discovering hidden secrets is more engaging than ever. This game also has removed the grid-based world system in favour of a more organic, non-jagged world. To go with this change, Pokemon Sun and Moon also no longer supports movement with the D-pad, instead opting for a purely circle pad experience. The D-pad has now been utilised for the new Pokeride feature. This feature essentially replaces HMs by allowing you to summon a specific Pokemon to perform the necessary task to open up a new area. For example, Tauros can dash through rocks, while Lapras can ferry you across bodies of water. I won't spoil the full roster of Ride Pokemon, but suffice to say, you will find many that you enjoy using. Without the constraints of HMs, you can now plan your party without wasting character and move slots. Moving along, the plot this time around is one of the best, with the exception of Black and White. For starters, the new antagonists, Team Skull, are a refreshing break from the extremist groups that have plagued many prior games, and are more akin to the Team Rocket of the Pokemon anime, while still retaining a menacing and unique identity. For those who prefer the groups in more recent games, however, suffice to say without spoiling anything, that the plot still has a crisis involving the fate of the world. The characters in Pokemon Sun and Moon are some of the best in a while, better than the fairly meh bunch from X and Y. For the most part, you truly care about them, and they all have varying personalities. For veteran players, I can tell you now that there are a few surprise appearances from characters of past series entries. The music is of varying quality, with some tracks being perfect for epic, ambient, sad, and humorous moments, and others just making me want to turn the sound off. The main battle music, for instance, is incredibly repetitive, and could have benefited from being switched out more often. The meat of the game this time around is still battling, but there are fun distractions to waste time in and then return to the main content. Some are good and some are not so good. The Pokemon Refresh feature is still repetitive like its predecessor, Pokemon and Me, but I found myself using it more frequently due to it being offered after battles. It offers more benefits now, such as boosted XP, better in-battle performance, and curing status conditions. It also has more backgrounds than just the random flat grass plane of a Me, making it feel more realistic. The Pokefinder is a fun, though simple distraction, with a limited amount of spots to take photos of a limited selection of Pokemon. Upgrading the Pokefinder gives perks such as better zoom, but involves taking the same shot over and over. Character customization is back, now with the option to change your hair color and style, as well as your eye color. It would still be nice to create your own clothing, as the options in the shop are fairly limited. The new replacement to Mega Evolutions is Z-moves. These are essentially extra powerful moves that can only be used once per battle. They are in some ways better, as every Pokemon can use one, rather than only a select group. I didn't use these as much as I used Mega Evolution in X and Y, due to it being a lot less powerful than I expected. However, they are fun to watch the first couple of times, hilariously pushing the limits of what can be considered fainting. I experienced problems with the speed of battles, particularly wild encounters. Every time you enter a wild encounter, you get a lengthy cutscene before the Pokemon is even revealed. Wild Pokemon now also have the ability to call out for assistance from other wild Pokemon. This can be good for raking in XP, but is frustrating when you can't end a battle, or the Pokemon have an ability such as Sturdy. At times, the health bar in both wild and trainer battles also drains slower than before, making the game feel a lot slower paced. Possibly the biggest addition is the Island Challenge, which replaces gym battles with a series of trials, involving more than just battling. These are run by trial captains, who you don't directly battle, but who organize the whole trial for you. These are better than gym battles, as you get more of a sense for each captain's personality than you would just by battling and leaving. Kahunas, however, are more like traditional gym leaders, without gyms. They run what is called a grand trial, and must be beaten before you can move on to the next island. The inclusion of trials and grand trials doesn't necessarily make the game longer, but rather packs more in. The Pokemon League, however, is basically the same as before, with a few surprise changes that I don't want to spoil here. The designs for the new Pokemon are decent, continuing the standard of creativity you would expect from a Pokemon game. The game also offers a mix of both old and new Pokemon to be found, with certain Pokemon from the original games receiving special Alola forms, which changed their type and appearance. These were interesting to discover and felt almost like new Pokemon. To sum up, Pokemon Sun and Moon are by no means perfect, but in this case, the good far outweighs the bad. If you've played past entries, pick this game up and you'll enjoy it. But I don't know if the new format will convince you if you are a series newcomer.